Hello, and welcome to our Veterans Talk Show. Today we talk about veterans from West Michigan and how they've helped their community and our country.
With all the hardships that veterans face in and out of combat, it's important that they get the recognition they deserve.
I'm your host, Vivian Olson.
And I'm Emily Ike. This is Beyond the Rocks Veteran Talk Show.
Hitman 2-3, this is Hitman 2-2, over. Hitman 2-2, you're coming in weak and unreadable. Try cleaning your handset. Try again. Hitman 2-3, this is Hitman 2-2, how you read me now? 2-3 has you loud and clear. Out. Hitman 2-3, this is Hitman 2-2, over. It's 2-3, send your traffic.
I think the hardest impact on veterans has to be PTSD, and I find it really interesting on how the different ways veterans can cope. I actually had the opportunity to go down to Kalamazoo to meet the founders of Warriors to Waves and For the 22, which uses water therapy through paddleboarding and surfing to help those veterans cope with PTSD.
That sounds really cool. Tell us a little bit more about water therapy.
Water therapy is basically using the common characteristics of water to find a balance between the mind and the body, and it's just a great experience for the veterans to help cope.
That sounds really interesting. Let's check it out.
Stability between the mind and the body is what many strive for. This stability is even more important to those impacted by war, PTSD, and trauma. Veterans. For the 22 and Warriors to Waves uses Michigan's beautiful lakes as a way to cope with the emotional and physical toll war has brought upon them.
So I was in the Navy myself. While I was in, we lost 6 of my buddies to suicide.
I served in the Marines. My crew, I would say, started to commit suicide.
About 22 veterans commit suicide each day, and Matthew and Josh wanted to know why. How come they were still alive and their fellow veterans were not? The solution? Water therapy.
Our biggest thing is we just take veterans out. There's a lot to go with water therapy and just being on the water, blue mind theory, and just the community that we build through the process. That's really what got us going down this path. I looked at what impacted my life, how it impacted it, and how I could share that with other people.
Paddleboarding and surfing brings a much-needed adrenaline rush to veterans in a safe and healthy way. It also calms the mind and allows for veterans to disassociate with all the mental, emotional, and physical problems they are facing.
My favorite part would be seeing the faces change as they leave, just watching the transition, seeing people smile and having that confidence again.
The impact that For the 22 and Warriors to Waves has had on veterans is life-changing and has long-lasting effects.
It was just nice and peaceful. The surf community is just kind. So, yeah, it changed my life a lot.
Just seeing the impact it had in his life by coming out and paddling with us was incredible.
If you are being a combat wounded veteran myself, there's no shame in the game for seeking help. Words can't explain what the feeling is when you're on the water. You know, we want to share the stoke.
This has been Vivian Olson with Beyond the Rock, signing off. I'm so grateful I had the opportunity to go paddleboarding with Josh and Matt and learn the positive effects that water therapy has on veterans.
I love hearing veterans share about their experience and bringing awareness to not only their physical health, but mental as well.
We'll send it down to Lise, who had the opportunity to go to Art Prize and meet some veterans there.
Art Prize is a very popular event in Grand Rapids, Michigan, housing many amazing artists who show their passions through their artwork. Some veterans get the chance to create artwork that shows the stresses and struggles that they experienced while serving. I got the chance to talk with John Catterberg and Dr. Kimberly Barrington about those experiences. Veterans Memorial Park houses 22 artists this year that have all served their country proudly and bring peace to those who have lost their lives. The number represents the 22 veterans who commit suicide every day. Talking with some of these astounding artists, I got to know their stories a little better.
I got into the Army Reserve at a very young age. I was like 17. I served up until Desert Storm. Then I got back into the National Guard and I was deployed to Afghanistan.
I served in the United States Navy. I was aboard 2 ships, the USS Holland AS-32 and the USS Emory S. Land AS-39.
Lots of work went into the pieces here, and that is shown through their dedication.
I love the scenes of Michigan, especially when I was deployed to Afghanistan. It's a nasty, dusty place, and I would think of the beautiful places in Michigan, and I would just mentally check out from Afghanistan.
This is how people think that it's a dark life, and we're just sad about the fact that we may have some type of disability, especially when you have a visible disability. But on the right side, That's me. I am full of color, full of life.
Every art piece has a story to tell and comes from a vision.
I also want to inspire people to see things in a different way. You know, that's part of the job of an artist, is to see things and to try to help other people see it.
I really try to spend a lot of my time dismantling people's perception of what they think that disability is. Women are veterans too.
The voices at Veterans Memorial Park help heal those who create, spread joy, and give a powerful message. This has been Elise Genter with Beyond the Rocks, signing off.
Not only was the art amazing, but so was its message.
It's cool to see that veterans can use art as a way of healing.
That's exactly what Andrew Lee did with his Quilts at Art Prize.
We'll dive deeper into his story after this message.
We are given the opportunity to take the field tonight by those who have fought and continue to fight for our freedom. Every day we wake up in a free nation, and that freedom was fought for so that we can live free. So we say thank you.
Thank you for your service. Thank you. 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 Thank you.
Thank you for your service. Thank you for fighting for our freedom. Thank you for your sacrifice. On behalf of the Rockford High School football team, we say thank you to those who fought, are fighting, and are choosing to serve our country. Tonight we honor you. Tonight we play for you. Go Rams.
Finally realized that quilting was what clicked for me.
Andrew Lee, a 20-year veteran and teacher at the RIT Training Institute, entered 2 of his quilts into Art Prize this year.
I decided on the iconic image, raising the flag at Iwo Jima, because there's so many people still alive that could be influenced.
His other piece was dedicated in honor of the events of 9/11.
I really feel that there are so many people out there who suffer from something, some sort of traumatic event in their life that causes them anxiety or stress or underlying issues.
Lee wanted to link the rugged idea of war with the softer concept of quilting.
The therapeutic value that it offered me, I was hoping that that would bridge that gap to allow some of those other folks to realize it and use that as a therapeutic value to help not only myself, but to share with other people that they too could find something that would help them.
His first Art Prize piece took him about 400 hours.
On the Iwo Jima quilt, there are 12,100 pieces of 1-inch squares.
Whereas his 9/11 piece took him 687 hours, with
20,020 pieces, and those are 3/4-inch finished squares.
Lee's favorite part was talking to people about it, and his biggest accomplishment of this experience was watching the impact this piece had on
the police and firefighters. It was also intended for those nurses. And
this piece was so much more than a quilt. It positively affected many members of the community.
The gratitude emit from her through her tears was just like mind-blowing to me, you know, that I can reach people on that level.
This has been Trina Varano with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
Whether it's quilting or other forms of art, it's amazing to see the artistic outlook these people have on their experience.
For sure, veterans seem to be everywhere in our community.
Aren't there some even at our school?
Yeah, that's right. Mr. Moku and Mrs. Shudage, 2 teachers here at Rockford, both come from military backgrounds, and I had the chance to talk to them about what it meant for them to serve. Our teachers here at Rockford all have different backgrounds, which makes each classroom unique. 2 of these teachers, Mrs. Shudage and Mr. Moku, come from military backgrounds and share what it meant for them to serve.
The meaning of me serving in the military has actually changed over time. When I was actually serving in the moment, it was my job at the time, and it was a means for me to earn some money to go to college eventually.
Originally, because of college costs, my family couldn't afford to send me to college. I was the first kid in my family to go.
But after the fact, now looking back, the meaning has changed and it's more meaningful to me, and understanding like the sacrifice that I actually made and that other military people make when they join the military, the sacrifice that they're making not only for themselves but also for their family.
With their experience in the military, Mrs. Shudage and Mr. Moku believe it's a great opportunity for young adults who aren't quite sure where their future lies.
In the military, take every opportunity they give you. They'll send you to every college. They'll give you college courses. because that just becomes another part of your development in who you are. Those are skills that you'll learn to use later in life.
Like where you want to be in the next few years, and if you don't have any open plans and college really isn't your thing and there isn't a job waiting for you somewhere, like could be an opportunity for you to learn a skill.
Even if you
might not necessarily agree with the politics behind it.
When you take that oath, you understand that a lot of what you want to do as an individual becomes secondary to what the national interests are.
But in the end,
kind of an honor to know that I made that sacrifice.
Here at Rockford, we are very grateful for Mrs. Shootridge and Mr. Merker's service both in the military and in the classroom. This has been Vivian Olson with Beyond the Rock, signing off.
It's inspiring that these two individuals went into teaching after they served.
Absolutely. All the veterans featured in today's talk show all come from different backgrounds when it comes to experience in the military.
But they all deserve recognition and appreciation for their service.
Once again, I'm your host, Vivian Olson.
And I'm Emily Ike. Thank you for your service.